Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and today we are talking about all of the makeup I used in the month of July. If you're new to these videos, I basically start with the worst products I used of the month. Bad. Wouldn't recommend. Don't think it'd be really good for anybody products. We go up to the kind of the mid section of they were fine. They were good per se, like they did as advertised, but not life-changing. And then the top is reserved for like my all-time favorites of the month. Amazing, raving about them. You get the picture. So without rambling too much further, let's go ahead and get into the video. Before we get into the ranking, if you have not already, I would love it if you consider subscribing. I upload videos twice a week. It's totally free to subscribe and I would love to have you back again on the channel in the future to talk all things makeup with me in the comments. So some of these things, if you've been following my rankings for a while, they are repeats because I've been trying to be really conscientious this year about using products up. So there are 31 items in this month's ranking. And of course, Lash Princess, it's been last a couple months. It is again, if you're new and haven't seen my rankings, essentially, this just transfers really terribly. I don't hate how it makes my lashes look, but the transfer is so bad that why have that when there are mascaras out there that perform that don't transfer on me? So I wouldn't recommend this, but even though I say it's terrible and how could this work for anyone, obviously there's tons of people that love the false lash effect, specifically the green one. So I'm just trying to use it up at this point. It's like the never-ending mascara though, you guys. Like it seems like, oh my gosh, are you done yet? I haven't even taken the stopper out. So we're trying to get through it. I did use some other mascaras though because I had lots of trips this month and I wanted my makeup to look good. So you'll see some of the other mascaras I liked better as we get higher up through the ranking here, but that is the bottom for this month. Another product I'll say is bad, 30 in the bottom, is just because I hate using it and I would never buy it again, is the Coty Airspun Translucent Powder. I've got some in the lid here. It's just the scent. It performs fine, but I will also say, I don't know if you can see in here if I turn it here. Maybe you can see some, there's like some chunky balls in there too. Like it's not the finest milled powder and it has just a terrible, horrifically strong fragrance. So to me, it's not. Even though I can make a lot of these products work like that one, there are enough cons about it for me to call a bad product. Next up at number 29, we have an empty. Oh my gosh, finally, this was something on my planning to pan 24 and 24 list. We're going through those items. This is the Ulta Beauty Hydrating Face Primer. It's just a little mini, and honestly, the formula wasn't terrible, but what made it so low for me was the component. Every time I would squeeze this, this little plastic piece would completely come out, like just pop out completely, made it very difficult to use. And that really just made me dislike it. Like the formula is actually really nice, but that little component thing alone made it where it was like, okay, this is almost unusable. I have to like hold in the component with one hand and squeeze with the other. It was a whole thing that was unnecessary. So glad it's gone. Won't repurchase. And number 28 is the Ritual Defeat Luminous Elixir 3-Drop Foundation. I will say this is the original like lab sample thing that they sold. It's not the current product they sell today. So keep in mind, even though I'm saying this product is bad, that one might be fine. I've never tried the actual formulation they sell now. This one, I like the pigmentation. I like that it's only 3 drops, nice and travel size. It really breaks up quite quickly. I mean, I'm talking within an hour on my skin. I've tried various primers and things and it just always seems to break up really quickly on me. So for that reason, again, I'm using all of these up because, I spent my money on them. I'm not getting this stuff as PR free or anything, but I don't know that I would repurchase it even knowing it's a different formulation because my experience has been so bad with that one. So let me know if you've tried the current Ritual Defeat foundation and if you like it, because I don't like that sample at all. Speaking of samples, I don't like it all. I bought at an Ulta Beauty sale earlier in this year this r.e.m. Beauty Cooling Blurring Under Eye Balm and was like, let me get the mini. And it came in like a little bundle set here just to try it before I get the full size. Boy, am I glad I did that because I saved myself some money. Maybe mine's like old or whatever, but it's all like dried and hardened in a chunk. And at one point, actually, the whole thing in the whole pot just fell out in one piece. So I'm like, okay, something's something's going on with this formulation here. You can see maybe it's kind of like crystallized to the jar here too. Weird. It does feel very cooling under the eye, I will say, and it melts very nicely. It's weird because it's kind of like silicone-y feeling, but at the same time, it doesn't leave a film feeling. Like, it does fully melt into the skin. So I like the effect it has on the face, but something's going on with this pot that it's like weirdly half hardened, but then you can rewarm it up with your skin that I'm like, I don't know about that. Maybe it'll go up next month as I use it more. But for right now, I'm like, I don't think I like this that much. I really don't. Another product I didn't like that much from Tarte, the Tarteist mascara. I took several of these mini mascaras on my travels. I like the wand just fine, and I like the effect that it gave my lashes, but this one had some issues with transferring as well, just like the Lash Princess. So I don't know what ingredients it is in some mascaras versus others that makes me transfer or not, but this one was not a winner for me. I think I just ranked it higher than the Essence because it did take longer for it to transfer, and it was like sweaty weather. So I don't know, normal conditions would be better. And I do think this makes my lashes look better. So it's rated a little bit higher than Essence, but it's still not great. In number 25, another empty. Okay, we've got the MAC Prep and Prime Skin Base Visage. This, I feel like now we're into that middle section of like, it was fine. It wasn't anything bad. It did what it was supposed to. This is more of the like traditional silicone-y feeling where it's like, it does feel kind of like a film on my skin, if you know what I'm talking about. That's the only way I know to describe it. So it was fine, but I feel like it's for me like an outdated product that other things definitely have replaced it as favorites for that type of formula. Very much so. It's not quite like the Benefit Professional, but silicone-y along that lines. I don't really reach for that type of formula anymore. So we used it up. It's gone. It was fine. But again, now we're out of the like terrible zone and we're in the kind of like, meh, it's fine. Like I could use it, but I could kind of take it or leave it at this point. Also in that take it or leave it category is this product. This is the LA Girl Pro Conceal HD High Definition Concealer. So it's basically a color corrector. Mine is in mint. It's not totally green. And I just don't really, I used to use color corrector all the time for redness. I get kind of like rosacea. But these days I just honestly use better skincare. I feel like to have less redness, to not need that step in my routine. Really the only time I use this is if I'm on a day where I'm like, I don't even want to wear foundation, so I'll just cover my redness some, but usually even a skin tint is enough to cover the remaining redness I have now that I've discovered if you're like me and you have a lot of redness. The active ingredient Witch Hazel does wonders for me. I have a toner with Witch Hazel from Thayer's that I use at night before bed, and it severely reduces the amount of redness I wake up in the morning. So it's not bad, it's just fine, but like I just don't have as much of a need in my collection for color correctors, I feel like, as I once did with the proper skincare. So that's why it's there. Next up is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. This is another product that like, it just seems to never run out. I thought I would be out of this a while ago and she's still going. She works just fine, like any other primer. I don't rate it any higher usually than somewhere in the middle just because I think there's other brands of eyeshadow primers that you can get that work just as well that are a fraction of the cost. So if you really like this eyeshadow primer, like I know my sister-in-law loves this one, I always tell her it's not bad. I'm not saying don't get it, but girl, do yourself a favor and at least wait till there's a sale, because Urban Decay has sales, I feel like, relatively frequently, and or use their Ulta points. Do something so you're not paying full price, because I just don't think it's worth what they charge full price for it when there's other brands that do the same thing for less. And number 22 from ABH, it's Anastasia Beverly Hills, is this Clear Brow Gel. This is a little mini sample I got from Sephora. I have already taken out the stopper because it's such a small sample. You know, there's not a lot of product. I like the formula itself, but the applicator is just a little too big. It can get a little messy to where I have to kind of do one of these and like clean up excess gel around the brow. So it's not my perfect applicator, but the formula is really nice. So it's okay, it's doable, but it's not a favorite. Next up, another LA Girl product. This is their Shockwave Neon Lip Liner in shade Fiery. Honestly, this was a weird one. I feel like I didn't rank it any higher because I don't think I knew this was a lip liner when I bought it. I think when I bought it, I thought it was one of these guys because LA Girl also has, they do look different. I should have known, but they were with each other. They have these auto eyeliners that I really like. These in ColourPop are probably my most used waterline friendly eyeliners. And I think I wanted a red eyeliner. Now, I will say, even though this is a lip liner, I've used it on the eye and not had any issues using it as eyeliner. It's stayed. So if you want the shade of a lip liner, great. Maybe you can use it as an eyeliner too, but it's not meant for that. But it is super creamy because it is technically a lip liner, but I use it as eyeliner. I don't know that I would use this fiery shade as a lip personally, but I don't do a lot of red lips. It's not even that I don't do bold lips. Clearly, we can see that today, but red lips particularly I don't do a lot of. So it's just a shade thing, I guess, is why it's not ranked higher. It's not a formulation issue. And number 20 from NARS is the r.e.m blush. This one I actually do like, but the more and more I use it, the more and more I'm like, man, at one point I straight up paid like $30 for this blush. I don't think I would pay $30 for any blush these days. Maybe if it's a blush book with like 6 blushes. But for a single blush, absolutely not. And it's pretty, but like there's a swipe. Can you see it? No. That's my issue. I think why I didn't rank it any higher is because there's like 5 or 6 different swatches that I just did in the pan. You might be able to see a faint glow. You can't even see the swatch. Like maybe on my finger, can you see it? Barely. It's like the lightest pigmentation that I'm just finding the more and more that I use it, the more and more I'm like, hello, are you there? Like it's not bad. I just think it's not my makeup vibes. I want something a little more pigmented. So that's why it's there, but it's not bad. I feel like that's like, it is what it's supposed to be. Maybe my tastes have just changed and I don't go for that type of a formula anymore. The packaging does feel really nice. I will say that like soft matte touch packaging does make me feel really luxe when I use it, and I like that about it. And number 19 is the other r.e.m Rum Beauty product that was bundled in that sampler. This is the blurring primer. This is like for the rest of the face. This one I actually like more than the one I was actually buying the sample bundle for to try. This is a weird one because, see if I can show you a little bit of it. When you squeeze it out, it's the same color as the under eye thing. It's this weird, like slightly blue tinted, but it's like solid. Hopefully you can see that. It's not liquid, it's solid, and it's like a little droplet. And it's that same kind of silicone-y, that's why it's, you know, blurring. But this one I really like because it doesn't leave like a film, and even though you feel the silicone when it first starts to dissolve, truly it does like fully dissolve and sink into the skin and feels hydrating while also blurring, and it then just feels like a gel primer. It's so intriguing to me. Like this is one I could see myself getting the full size of. The under eye one, I don't know, that one it just feels a little gimmicky maybe, but that one I do like. I just have not, I think, used it enough times in the month to like fully rate it super high. So this felt like a safe place to be like, hey, I've got my eye on you, but I don't fully know if you're going to be a favorite yet because I haven't tried it with enough combinations of different foundations and things to see if it's just going to work with certain things and be finicky with others, or if it's going to work universally. I used it mostly on a trip where I only had like a couple different base products. So I will let you know next month as I use that more if it needs to go higher than 19, but that's why it is where it is for the month of July. And number 18 is the blush I'm wearing today. This is the Believe Beauty Cream Blush in shade Dollface. Found exclusively at Dollar General. I feel like I've used this so much in the last couple months and I feel like it looks exactly the same. Like this will take so long to go through, I feel, because it's so pigmented. It takes the littlest amount, but I do like that this shade goes just with a lot of different looks. I do feel myself getting a little bored with it, so I don't know how much I'll be using it next month. I have another shade of it more like an orangey shade. I do really like the formula, so maybe I'll just change out shades to mix it up a little bit because I bought 2 of these when I got them initially. So happy I did because the formula is amazing. But it is kind of small. The e.l.f. bronzer I'll show you too coming up, but that's I think my one complaint why it's not higher. You have to have like a small brush to get in here. I usually use a flat kabuki brush just to like press it in there and do a tiny little swirl and then blend it out on the cheek, but I do like small sizes, don't get me wrong, but I almost wish they were like shallower and wider so you could get a brush in there better because it can be a little tricky. You have to find the right brush for some of these smaller components, I will say, but the price is right on that one and the quality is really good in my opinion. And number 17 is the NYX Tame and Frame Brow Pomade. She's still going strong. This will probably be every month, you guys, because it just lasts forever. And yeah, I don't have to use that much for my brows, so it's fine. Summary, if you're new, it just kind of dries out as it gets older, and because you can't use it up that quickly, again, it's one of those things where it's like, if you know your product is not going to stay stable for the period of time that it takes to use it up, you should either have some kind of different component, I guess, to help it disperse maybe differently and that wouldn't dry out. I don't know. I'm not a packaging expert. Or have just like less amount of product, like less grams or something like that, so that it would be cheaper and you would use it up faster, but it wouldn't start to get kind of like dried out and chunky, which is what I'm finding with the product right now. So it was a great product fresh, so it's not at the bottom and it's still doable, but it does have a couple things here and there. And number 16 from Tarte is the Radiant Concealer. I have tried the Ultra Creamy, and the original Shape Tape, as well as now this one. This is my favorite of all 3 so far. And I don't dislike this one still, but it is kind of a lighter coverage, which normally I like that. I think I would like a little brightening, so maybe a different shade, but there's just another concealer this month that I have been preferring and reaching towards more, that is more brightening and has a little more coverage. So I don't know if it's just preference sometimes for these rankings, guys. And this month I like the other concealer I used, and I'll talk about that when we get to it, but that one's good. But it's like, okay, you're good, you're fine, but like, what else is there out there? And number 15 from Milani is this Bullet Lipstick in shade Shoop. I've had this a while. That's all that there is left. I say that, but that's going to take me forever to use. I think this was limited edition. I don't think you can get it anymore. It smells so good. It's like a sweet without being vanilla. How do I describe the smell? Maybe slightly cocoa-y, but it's not exactly chocolate either. But this, it's just such a pretty warm, rich brown shade. It's very creamy still. It doesn't tug. I remember this being very affordable. It's a Salt and Pepper collab, so that in itself was really cool in my opinion. Maybe I'm aging myself a bit, but it's not like my favorite lip of all time. It's just like a classic brown, I feel like. So it's good. I feel like it's not my number 1 brown lipstick though. There's a video idea. My top like fall lip colors. Would you guys be interested in that when it gets a little closer to fall? Let me know in the comments. And number 14 is a single eyeshadow shade. This is from the brand Pretty's For Your Face. I do have an affiliate code if you're interested in shopping the brand. Everything's linked and listed in the description box. This is the shade, oh, that's Slimer. Wrong shade. It's a different green shade. The shade Shock. This one right here. Now this is a really pretty shade. I do like this one. It's this kind of just like greeny shade. I think the reason this one's not ranked higher, I do like it, but it kind of looks shimmery and I expected it to be a shimmer when I ordered it. It's almost like a satin shade, which I don't mind, but I don't use satin shades a ton. So when I use that shade, it's usually like a one and done all over the lid and maybe with like a liner or something. I do like it. It is good. I love everything from Pretty's For Your Face that I've ever tried up to this point. That's partially why I wanted to be an affiliate with them, but it's not like my number 1 item of the month, if I'm being honest. In number 13 from ColourPop is this liner right here. This is from the Raw Beauty Christy collab. It is the liner in Spare Time. I love this color of green. in general, but as a liner, it's so pretty. I had the brown one too, and I've completely used it up. So this is the only one I have left. My only gripe with this and with all ColourPop liners, I think they've reformulated though since this collab. No, so maybe it's not the case anymore, but I always have an issue with these breaking off. Even if I only do like the teeniest little bit and I don't crank it up, like I'm not crazy. Even if I do a little bit, I feel like they break off so easily and that annoys me to like waste product. I still have quite a bit left of this liner. The color's amazing. It's just the formula that breaks off sometimes, but maybe they fixed that with their reformulation. Let me know if you've bought any of those liners lately and you think it's a little bit different now. I would love to know. In number 12 is the next of the Tarte mascaras I've been trying out this month. This one is the Big Ego mascara. I do really like how this one makes my lashes look. This one is only not ranked higher because this type of huge wand sometimes can be messy for me personally, and it's hard to like really get up in there on all the lashes without making a heck of a mess. So I feel like I have to be really slow and careful, and sometimes I do make a mess and I have to wait for it to dry, and it's a whole thing. So it's not perfect, but it does really make the lashes look good. Number 11 is another primer that's almost gone, that's supposed to be completely used up for that panning project that I'm doing this year. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Radiance Primer. They don't make this anymore. One of my favorites. It's just so old though now that I am finding like the formulation is changing to like away from what I remember it being, because it's just so old. It's, you know, a liquidy creamy product. They're not meant to last forever. So rest in peace. I mean, I have a little bit left, so it'll probably be in next month's as well, but yeah, this one's been a good one. I will say maybe I was tanner when I first got this, because I do notice as I put it on myself now, it's almost like bronzy, and I don't remember it being that way. So maybe I'm just like paler or more fair than I used to be, but that is one thing that I'm like, ooh, I don't love that. I don't remember that being the case, but just, you know, had to give an homage to an era that is no longer with that one. All right, we're in the top 10 products, you guys. This is the concealer that I've been loving and reaching for over the Tarte Radiant one. This is the Catrice True Skin High Cover Concealer. Now I have the matching foundation of this and I don't love it. I really don't. It's like too pigmented, honestly, and I never thought I'd say that about a product. It's also a bit too light for me, so that might be partially why I feel that way about it, but this on the other hand, very good. It's not too drying under the eyes. It doesn't crease either at the same time though, so it's that perfect like hydrating enough but not too emollient situation. It is waterproof, has hyaluronic acid, of course, high cover concealer. Mine's a neutral swan. I've really been liking this one, and it has one of those like points in the doe foot, so you can really get up in there. This one is, yeah, this is the one I really like right now, which is hilarious to me because I wore the Tarte Radiant at my wedding last month and loved it so much. It just goes to show how quickly your opinions and preferences can change month to month, and something that was up here is kind of knocked down a little bit. That's just the way it goes sometimes. Number 9 is the mascara that's been my favorite one this month, and this is the final Tarte mascara, I promise. This is the Maneater one, and this is the one I'm wearing today. It's got like smaller bristles. I can get in there. I usually do like 2 to 3 coats to get the lashes to look how I want them to, but this one I've been really liking, and it does not transfer at all, which was my complaint with 2 of those mascaras I talked about. So I've been liking this one, and I feel like I had another one of these before this one and thought it was okay. Used it up, and then another mini came into my life somehow, and I'm just really liking that one a lot right now. Even though I like it a lot, there's quite a few mascaras I like though, and even though that one is good and I would recommend it, it's not like life-changing. Like there's a couple in the very tippy top that are like, what? This exists. Like they're that good. We haven't gotten there yet, but that's why it's not any higher. Another good one in number 8 is this e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. Mine's in Tan Lines. Do I even bother putting it in next month's ranking? Like obviously I'm gonna have to use it a couple times in August to get that little bit right there. But hello, it's basically an empty. Tell me, what do you think about that? Like I technically used it in the next month. Should I put it in the ranking or should I just be done with it? I'm curious to know. The only reason I think maybe leave it in the ranking is just because then if I move on to another cream bronzer, I can like compare the two for you guys versus not talking about it. But that's just my personal thoughts. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. It's the bronzer I'm wearing today. I wasn't even trying to use that up. It was organic, and that doesn't happen very much for me with my makeup, I feel, where I organically use something up without actually trying to use it up. So I feel like that speaks a lot to how much I've been liking it. I have a couple other cream bronzers that I purchased in the last year that I'm going to use and kind of compare and see before I purchase any other cream bronzer. So for now, I'm not going to repurchase it, but never say never. I would definitely not be mad to have that in my life in the future. Only con of this one, kind of like the Believe Beauty, it's so little, like I had to buy their specific e.l.f. brush for it to even be able to fit down in here for bronzer. Just that I don't love. I wish they would just make it, again, like shallower and wider and bigger so you could fit any brush in there. And number 7 is the lipstick I'm wearing today. This is from Melt Cosmetics, and it is their bullet lipstick in Recuerdos. It's from their Mariposas collab that they did, not collab, collection that they did a couple years ago. The packaging is velvet on the inside. Can we first just say that? I didn't actually purchase this collection. I got this in a mystery box. I will leave linked to my last mystery box from Melt. I haven't done one in a while, and I would love to. I've seen that they've been selling them again, but it's just been kind of like random products. I mean, all products are random products, I guess, at the end of the day, but what I'm trying to say is there's no eyeshadow palette included. There's a lot of eyeshadow palettes from Melt I don't have, and I really want to do a mystery box that has a palette in it as well, and they have only done ones without palettes, so I haven't purchased any. But back to this. Here is this color. It's this like brilliant purple. I need a little bit more because I ate and it came off a bit, and I feel like as it fades, it looks more pink. But when you first apply it, it's like a bit more purple. And I wore this today to kind of match the eyes. If you haven't seen it, I did a collab with Dub's Beauty Diary, and I will leave that linked in the description for you. But did this eye look with her this morning on a live on her channel. We'll be collabing on my channel soon. And yeah, this lip just felt like it matched. And this is not the first time I've used this lip this month. It's just a very bright, summery, poppy shade. And as you can see, like, imagine you had something more neutral on the eyes, right? Like, it's not that crazy. This, I feel like, is a lip if you're like, okay, I don't want to do a bright red, but I want to try something a little more bold. This one, I feel like, would be good for you. And you could even, like, do, like, a pinky liner if you wanted it even more subdued to, like, ombre it or something. But this one is really nice. And Melt's lipstick formulas, they smell good. The shape is right. I love the embossings on the lipsticks. Like, they can be pricey, but if you get it on a sale, and they've had a lot of sales lately, like, weirdly a lot of sales, like, Are You Doing Okay number of sales? I will say that as a side note. But yeah, if you get stuff on sale, the price isn't bad. Full price, I get it. It's a little bit pricey, but most of my Melt stuff I've not paid full price for at all. And number 6 is another single shadow. This is the other one I used this month from Pretty's For Your Face, and this one is in the shade Louise. This is one of my favorite shades I have from Pretty's For Your Face. It is this really pretty, like, shifty, pinky purpley shade, and this is more of an actual true shimmer. It's not a satin like Shock was, and I think that's why I like this one better. And you know, it's not like a surprise probably that they're higher up in my ranking because A, I love eyeshadow, and B, it's green and pinky purple. Come on, if you've not been on my channel, green and purple are like my favorite colors of eyeshadow to wear. And this one is amazing. Again, Pretty's For Your Face. They just put up a pre-order for some Halloween items, so if you haven't heard of the brand, check them out. You can stack my affiliate code and save even more on their bundles and things, which is amazing. And yeah, we're moving on to the top 5. Number 5, this was my favorite foundation this month. It is the Lancome Tint Idole Ultra Care and Glow. Mine's in shade 120 Neutral. I never would have bought this myself. Lancome is like out of my price range personally for what I'm willing to buy for a lot of stuff. This one was actually sent to me for review, and it's a full size, and It does have a slight perfumey, like high-end smell. I will say that I don't love, but you only smell it when you first pump it and apply it, and it dissipates very quickly and you don't smell it for the rest of the day. And even though this says it's Care and Glow, I do like to pair this one with a glowy primer. I don't put on a ton, but it's like a really beautiful medium coverage, and hopefully you can see like the glow that my skin has. It's just like it's a very healthy look, and I really, really like that. And I've actually got it paired with my number 4 item, which is the Nimya License to Glow Serum. I know people, like, I see a lot of people like to hate on the Nimya brand, and with the setting spray, girl, I get it. It's an awful, awful misty sprayer, crunchy formulation. I get it. But with this one, I really like this one. It's been wonderful as a primer for me underneath things that otherwise might be a little too crusty or mattifying for me. But when I pair it, oh, it looks amazing on the skin. Just for me, I have personally combo skin, so that might make a difference for you. And I'm 33 today, the day I'm posting and filming this. It is my birthday. So yeah, that's kind of like a context for my skin situation, if you're wondering. And I think that age and my skin situation is also why I've been really loving number 3, this one right here from Fenty Beauty. It's the Ease Drop Lit All Over Glow Enhancer. Mine's in shade number 1, Pink Pearl. This is also a product I like when I'm like, I don't feel like wearing foundation, but I just want a little something to glow and even out the skin and like what little redness I have. This is the one. This is really good. This is another one that I didn't buy. I got this, I think, in like a FabFitFun box or something like that back when I was getting a subscription. Some of the products I like the most are products I never would have bought myself, but I either got like sent to me or got them in like a mystery box or a subscription, and it was stuff picked for me. And so that's just like a really fun way for me to try stuff that a lot of times I end up loving and never would have picked for myself. But that one is amazing. It's not too greasy. That's what I like about it. It's glowy and hydrating and not greasy. And number 2 are the ColourPop oils. This is the Twilight collection specifically. This one is Team Jacob the Black. The dark blue is in my purse. I don't usually carry a lot of lip products in my purse, maybe one. So if it makes it to the purse, that's a big deal for me. Like you're gonna be using this and reaching for it all the time. Like want it when I leave the house. And that's these lip oils. I had finished off this lip oil in Rain Check. I feel like this was a little gloopier than these, and I liked this one a lot, but these are thinner, and I like these even better than this one. I will say I still don't love the fact that, well, I guess we'll see. I was gonna say I don't love the fact that they expire so quickly, because this one started to get like a smelly funk before I was able to finish it. But we'll see. Maybe that won't happen with these. Maybe they have reformulated and that's why it feels a little bit thinner. I'm not sure. But I love these. And it looks dark and scary, but it's not. It's just like it's like clear with a little hue on it. And I've just been loving those and using them almost daily, to be honest. They're amazing. And the price point is amazing because it's ColourPop. All right, y'all. It's time for my number 1. This is the one that I'm like, get it. Add to cart. Don't ask questions. Get it. This is a single shadow, because how could it not be a shadow, right? You guys know I love eyeshadow. And this is from Electrum Cosmetics. They make some of the shiftiest, most amazing shadows I have ever used in my life. I just placed an order at the end of, I think it was May, for a couple new things from them that I am waiting on. But this one is shade Aura, A-U-R-A, from Electrum Cosmetics. To you, it probably just looks white, right? Let's get a swatch going so you can truly see what's going on. Oh! Every time it gets me. It's blinding, first of all. And it's so shifty and pretty. Aura is the name of this one. Let me swatch it over a surface area so you can really see all of the shifts. I would describe it as yellow to green to gold probably on this one. Oh my gosh, it's just so shifty. I love this one for really anything, but inner corner, especially the brow bone, a face highlighter. I don't have any face highlighter on. Let's just remedy that right now, shall we, before we go out in the world and use a little bit of this. Oh yes. It's just magical, mystical, wonderful. I don't know. Like, I have other shades from this brand too, and I don't know how they get the shift that they get on some of these. They're so spectacular. I love shades like this too for like a lip, to just like blot over the lip to give it a little more sparkle and shift. If you've never tried that, I would recommend it. But good gracious, this is like one of those special shades that if you have a look that's just like, it's okay, or it's like drugstore shadows and it's not that special, getting like one shade like this, these are my Electrum Cosmetics, these 3 that I started with on the bottom, getting one more expensive shifty special shade can really transform all of the rest of your makeup that you have that might not be as shifty or special, in my opinion. So yeah, I can't say enough good things about the quality of Electrum Cosmetics, at least in my personal experience so far. Their multi-chrome glosses too, really nice if you like that sort of thing. But I'm gonna stop rambling now, guys. That was all 31 items that I used in the month of July. Let me know, what do you think of my ranking? Are there any products you would change where they were ranked? And I always love to know too, what are you guys using right now? Are you trying to use something up? Are you just like, no, I use different stuff all the time? Do you track it? Even if you're not a content creator, it can be really illuminating and fun just to like track and see what you're using and what you're reaching for and how many times. I've had a lot of fun with it this past year. So thanks so much if you made it all the way to the end. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Bye!